What's going on, YouTube?
We are back again, and we are so excited about today's topic.
Oh, we got a good one. What we got from today, then?
Okay, we're going to talk about 10 signs of a cult.
10 signs. Now, to get through all this information, how long do they need to stick around on this one?
You need to stick around to the end, the
The
very
whole
end of
thing.
the video. You got to watch the whole thing because we got some great information in here, okay?
Yeah, not just for ex-witnesses. This is cults in general.
Yeah.
Yep, so stick around. Let's just dive right into it, all right?
All right, let's do it.
Sign number 1, that you are in a cult. Cults have human leadership. And not just with human leadership, but it seems that these leaders are the only ones that have this exclusive access to information that nobody else is able to get, right?
Yes, absolutely. So basically they feel as if they have all of life figured out, and that's what they make sure to tell their followers. And it's the same thing in the Jehovah's Witness organization. They won't admit it, but you are basically listening to whatever the governing body has to say.
That is true.
So it is definitely a human leadership organization versus a God organization.
It is.
Yeah.
Even if you backtrack to the beginning, you know, it started with Charles Taze Russell.
Yep.
Who started Jehovah's Witnesses. A lot of times, you know, they paint the picture as, you know, back years and years ago, we were the true followers of Christ. Absolutely. And then they prophesized that for thousands of years, we would all disappear. And then we would reappear. And this is where Charles Russell came in.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, you just kind of go along with it.
It was just a crazy timeline where they're skipping back and forth.
Yep.
And really, all Christians are going off of a certain Bible. So every Christian group feels as if they are the chosen people. You know what I mean? So
what can you do with that?
Exactly.
I remember in the reasoning book, it talked about, I kind of glanced over this once because I heard somebody mention, you know, Jehovah's Witnesses that's a cult. And that's triggering to witnesses because I remember even thinking like, no. And I remember learning in, I want to say, the reasoning book that, like, if somebody says this, then you say this. And one of them was us, you know, we're a cult. And it said that cults have human leaders. And in my mind, it's like, oh, okay, we don't have no human leaders, but we actually do.
Yeah, it's definitely led by humans. And those are the ones that are making all of the rules, all the regulations, all the things, telling you exactly what to say at the door. And if you come across a certain question, and it basically leads into like our next sign of a cult.
It is. So moving to our next sign, but remember one thing, if they try to convince you, no, we don't have human leadership, make a decision on your own that they haven't yet approved of. Absolutely. Like we use, for example, the beard thing. Just if you feel in your heart you can grow a beard, do it as a witness. Just do it. And what's funny about the whole human leadership is, okay, they may give you the wrong answer today, but let's go back in time. Say today is 1985 and it's a teaching that wasn't approved yet. You may have felt that was the right thing at that time, but the leaders are saying opposite. And then they end up being wrong and saying, you know what, you can do ABC.
Yeah.
So with you having that correct answer the whole time, even though the leader said otherwise, you can't act on that because the leaders didn't give permission.
And that's the exact reason that Jehovah's Witnesses used to celebrate Christmas. They used to be able to smoke cigarettes, celebrate different kinds of holidays, and you see how much the teachings have changed over time.
Right.
So now if you have this exclusive information that is coming straight from God, and you have been blessed with this responsibility to lead a flock, why are you having the wrong information?
And that's something that witnesses to this day cannot answer. You can ask them if you have exclusive information, why do you get it wrong? And
they will perfectly tailor their publications to whatever it is that the organization is facing at that time. So if even like with the sexual assault cases and everything, so they made sure to tailor their Watchtower studies to go towards that. And like, oh, you know, we have imperfect people within the organization, so
it's perfect timing.
Yes, just be aware.
Yep, pay attention.
Yes. So our next point is going to be the us versus them mentality.
That's deep.
It is definitely deep. So at least for Jehovah's Witnesses, basically they have all of the answers. So we even categorize the people outside of the organization as worldly. So it is literally us, we have the answers, and then everybody out there, we need to go and save them. We need to go and recruit them and bring them into the organization so that they can also be saved.
That's true. We got to give them accurate Bible knowledge, as we would say.
Yep, definitely.
And a way that I remember a brother put it like this, like we're inside of this safety, kind of like a safety bubble, right? And then outside of this bubble is the world. And it gives the members this illusion that there's more than one world existing. You got our world and then the other world. Yeah. As if we're not all living in the same exact world, going through the exact same things. You know, we all, every single issue that humans go through, we go through regardless of what your beliefs are. Yeah. You know, everybody's going to go through depression, whether you are a witness or a Baptist or a Mormon, Muslim. You're going to go through grieving. You're going to go through sickness. But the organization gives this illusion that this is us right here. And once you leave this, you know, you're going to go through something different because you're no longer under this net. And
it's going to be worse because while you're with us, you are protected. And whenever you leave this protection, like, God is no longer protecting you anymore, and you're going to be exposed to the demons and exposed to Satan, and everything is going to be so much harder for you to, you know, for you to go about life. Right. And it's crazy because they truly do, like, that's how they begin to infiltrate and control your thoughts.
Yeah, you know, that is how it works.
It's through the entire program of like being in the organization. They make sure to try to control your thoughts in different ways.
Right.
So,
and it gets deep with the us versus them. A way to look at this, think about the earth, right? We have different countries, different states, different cities, but in reality it's all a piece of land. But I can convince you that you are different because you're from another, say Mexico, United States. Yeah. From Texas, that part of Texas to Mexico, it's land and it's an invisible line in between. And that's how easy it is to kind of control people's mind. That, all right, you different because this line right here, you over on this side and I'm over on this side. Yeah. And people take that to heart. But that's really how cults work. It's all in the mind.
Absolutely. I remember whenever I had my Bible study teacher, and whenever we were kind of going through like me not being able to have worldly friends and trying to surround myself more with like witness friends. And I'm like, well, this girl she's so good. Like she never does anything bad. You know, she has amazing values. And basically to them, it's like all those things can be true. But at the end of the day, they don't follow the same God that you do. Yep. So they don't follow Jehovah, and they don't know Jehovah yet. Maybe you can get them to know Jehovah, and then you guys can be friends outside of school. It was like that deep, and in the moment you don't realize how big of a deal that is until like you're away from it. Right. But you literally are programmed to think and look at people in your mind as, okay, they can have a small access to me, but they can't be close to me. Like they can't be my real friend. Yeah.
As long as they are going along with your beliefs.
Yes.
Religiously.
Yes. So you are forced to only have friends within the organization. Yep. And that's another thing. That's why a lot of it is based on fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like fake based friendships because you guys are literally only friends because this organization has brought you together. And for some people, I actually had legit things in common with, and I would hang out with them regardless if they were in it or not. But other people, like, I look back and I'm like, I probably wouldn't have been friends with them.
A lot of them people are weird.
Yeah, like, I probably would not have been friends with her if I was not in the organization.
Right, but it's also the guilt trip of widening out, or, we don't want to always work in service with the same friends. What about brother so-and-so or sister so-and-so? Have you got to know them? Yeah. And it's like, you're not supposed to be like this with every single human. That's not how it works.
And as soon as things became like cliquey, I remember getting talks like that, know. But I get along with who I get along with, and everybody else, it's like, okay, we could be
cordial.
Yeah, but you're not about to be coming to my house on the weekend. Like, no, I like this person.
Especially if your vibe, a person got weird vibes. Like, you don't have to invite this person to where you lay your head at.
Right.
Yeah.
So, just weird.
Yeah, that's the organization.
But that goes into the whole like us versus them mentality.
Yeah.
You're literally forced to think that way.
Yep, and it feels normal. And then the weird thing about it is, if you ask the witness if they feel like they humble, or yeah, we're humble people, but they really come off as very arrogant people.
Yes.
Our prayers work to God, but yours don't.
Yes.
But the only way for yours to work, I have to teach you how.
Yeah.
But yet we're all equal as human beings at the same time. So which is it?
And it's so sad because there's so many religious groups that hold these same kinds of this same structure, like I know other people who hold the same Mormons, you know what I mean? Like,
right, plenty other ones that they are better than the outside world.
Yep. What's next, babe?
Ooh, our next point, signs of being in a cult. Another sign is love bombing, especially in the beginning, to where you're being introduced to a behavior that's so against the norm of what you're used to in your regular life.
Yes. There's something that my papa used to tell me all the time. He used to say, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Yup.
And I don't know why we didn't apply it to this, but that's another thing to apply it to, because if you are a new person coming into the Kingdom Hall, like you're going to feel a certain energy. Like people are like upbeat, especially if they see a new face, they're coming over, they're introducing themselves.
Right.
It's not like the regular world where you go out and like go somewhere, everybody isn't flooding you, like flooding over to talk to you and really trying to like welcome you in with open arms, and have these big smiles on their face, like they're just like
strangers.
Hi, how are you? Like,
I'm so and so. This is my husband. This is my kids.
Where are you from? Who did you come in here with? Like, it's literally like that.
Did you like anything? Do you have any questions? We'll for free. We can come to your house and you are just kind of some people, us to fell for the okie doke, but like, man, this is nice. But people that who can trust their intentions was like, nah. Like you see in the comments, like, man, I went to a meeting one time and I was out. I'm like, man, this is a cult. But like a lot of people look at it like that, but a lot of us who didn't really know any better look at it like, man, this is unique. This must be God's chosen people. Yep.
Yes, because if you're coming around with all of this like happy energy and everything, but you know what? That's why for me the Kingdom Hall was so draining sometimes, because I felt like I couldn't just be myself. Like I felt like I couldn't have a bad day because people were looking at me, and I don't want. If I'm having a bad day, I don't want to have to go and tell everybody what I'm having a bad day about.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you're at the Kingdom Hall and you're having a bad day, maybe don't want to talk, immediately people are like, well, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? You can't just like sit
You can't
and
have a long day at work. You can't, none of that.
No, you can't like sit and hide in the Kingdom Hall and just like pop out, because if you're very active, they're going to notice if you like leave quickly and you get talked to about things like that. You know what I mean?
That becomes a time to counsel.
Yes.
Even speaking of too good to be true, a lot of things that are in cults are this promise of just something that you're not really offered in normal life.
Yeah.
Like some promise or some type of catch that comes along with joining this group. That's like, man, I can have this. And of course with the organization is you can have everlasting life and never ever get sick again, and all your loved ones come back to life. And this stuff like this, too good to be true. Like, you meaning to tell me, because this is something you've never ever been told before. Even
outside from that, like, because that's something that a lot of religious groups promise. That's like the basis of the Bible, is like a promise for the future. But outside of that, being exclusive to Jehovah's Witnesses, you have a worldwide organization of brothers and sisters. So the more that you widen out, like you can go anywhere and stay with, like, everybody knows a Jehovah's Witness from this place, like Italy or Africa or France, like all these places all over the world, people know brothers and sisters from there. So if you ever want to go and visit, like, and you're in good standing in the congregation, you have easy access to be able to go over there, visit them, and you're with somebody that you presume as safe because they are also Jehovah's Witnesses.
Right. So too good to be true.
But I mean, it was true though, like, because that was something that attracted me to the organization, was being able to like go to multiple places and have like an intel person there.
And this is why I say too good to be true, because look at all the lawsuits around the world, because it's like, oh, these are my brothers and sisters. I could just leave, let this person take care of my kids, this person all the way in this state or in this city, because it comes off too good to be true. Like, we can trust everybody. And even though a lot of religions and organizations have a promise, what makes things a cult is where you have a promise or something that's given to you that's against the norm.
Yeah.
So even though, like, you know, a lot of religions may say, you know, most of them, Christianity, you get to go to heaven. But with some of these small cults, is certain things like you get to go to heaven and have this many wives, or you get to die and then wake up, and then the whole world gonna wake up, and then you get to deliver these people for 1,000 years. Like, stuff like that is signs to look out for.
The love bombing is so real. It's just like if you were in an abusive relationship, and they are giving you all of this attention, all of this love at the beginning, and then it's like slowly, the deeper that you are in it, they start to like take it away and almost nitpick. Almost nitpick at you. They nitpick at you. Like,
and you don't notice until the love faded away, until down the line. Like, wait a minute, people are not running up to me when I first come in here, especially after it's like the beginning when you study and then baptism. Then after that, people kind of like calm down, back away.
And then it's like the judgment begins to creep in. Like, oh, you used to comment at every meeting. Why aren't you commenting now? Like, I didn't get to hear from you today. You know,
what's going on?
You're like sitting next to people, and your watchtower is underlined, and you're like trying to hide it because you don't want them to think you didn't study, but you didn't study. Like,
love bombing.
Yes. So that takes us into our next one, which is a sign that you're in a cult is they have rites of passage. So,
that's a good one right there.
Yes. They either have like strict rules, strict regulations. You're kind of like renouncing your old life. And
that's heavy.
Especially in Jehovah's Witnesses, because what do they say? You're
stripping off the old personality and putting on the new one.
Yes. So you are really changing so much about yourself. And they make sure that you have like a certain flow of things that you have to do in order to really become a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, yeah.
And we've talked about it before, but it starts as like, okay, first you're a study, and then you're an unbaptized publisher, then you get baptized, or can you join the school as an unbaptized publisher?
Yeah, you can join the school, and then you can start going down the ministry, unbaptized publisher.
Okay, so then you can join the school, then you get baptized, now you're a baptized publisher, now you're able to pioneer an auxiliary pioneer.
It never stops.
It never ends. There's like a ladder that you can climb, and even worse so for brothers, you know what I mean? You ministerial servant, and then elder, and then you could keep going from there if you want to,
if they allow you. And that's another thing that's not talked about with the what's so crazy, this stuff is not even scriptural, but you are judged. I remember our brother saying by 25, like if you grew up in an organization or been at least baptized from at least teens or 20,
you should be a ministerial
servant. A servant by 25, and if you're not, they're looking at you like, what's up with you?
And they really did used to. Like, I remember even my like male friends who were older and were not servants yet. Like, a lot of them got labeled as bad association, and they literally did not used to do anything.
You got to.
But they got labeled like wrong.
You have to. So you kind of forced. You're not able to sit still and just chill as a witness. You can't just put on this new personality, as they say, and just be here. You got to keep stepping up, like you said.
Because you should be zealous. You should be excited and zealous to do God's work, and to keep putting yourself in positions to do more and more and more.
Then become an elder next. Because if not, what are you waiting for? How can you? And then they take you being a family man. How can you be a good husband and you're not a servant, or you're not an elder? And it's like you get so caught up in these titles that you don't realize this has nothing to do with the scriptures at all.
No, it's not biblical. So, and that's a good point. You really do get caught up in the titles. And you're talking about, let's take family men, for example. So, okay, you have a family. Say you're the provider for that family. So you have a job that requires you maybe 40 to 50 hours a week. And then you have a wife to take care of. You have kids to take care of. Now you have responsibilities in the congregation. Like, one person can only do so much. You know what I mean? Like, people should be allowed to have like their time.
Take a vacation. If you could take a vacation from work, why can't you take a vacation from the hall for a week?
Well, technically you can, but you're still getting like text messages.
But you're not allowed to.
So since we got to talk about the love bombing aspect of it, after that, you're simultaneously isolating yourself from friends and family.
So another sign you are in a cult, isolation from friends and family.
Yes.
And if you look at the organization, it only works if your whole family and friend group are all in it already. But say you are somebody coming along, you don't even notice it because it's slowly being told to you. This is not something you're going to be told at the door.
No.
You know, if you want to become a Jehovah's Witness and the rest of your family don't want to do it, you got to stop hanging with them.
And I don't think that people understand how much is put during the Bible study process, because your Bible study teacher really becomes like your friend. They're checking in on you multiple times a week. And they're coming to see you in person probably at least once a week.
Right.
And anytime that you're sick or anything is happening within your family, like most Bible study teachers are coming in at times of need. So say you're sick, your Bible study teacher is going to swoop in and bring you some soup.
Under one condition.
They're going to bring you some soup. They're going to bring you some groceries. They're going to do the things because I saw all the brothers and sisters doing things like that. You know what I mean? The wives coming over, helping them out. So they're really filling in as like not just your Bible study teacher, but this has become your friend.
Right.
So you are trusting what they're saying because they keep showing up for you.
They
you know
come off
I mean?
like a real friend.
Absolutely. And so in that gradual moment, you're like telling them different things about your life and like, oh, my family, they really feel some kind of way about me not celebrating Christmas with them this year. Oh, honey, it's okay. Like, just leave it to Jehovah. You know, they don't understand your beliefs yet, but this is a pagan holiday. Like, they're really feeling
people are under Satan's control. Your family and friends are, and just try to help them out. And they, instead of being straight to the point, like, you can't mess with them no more. It's like, you know, just continue to do what I'm telling you to do. And over time, maybe your good personality that's starting off will start to rub off on them.
That's exactly how they kind of word it. And even at the beginning, like whenever, say you were celebrating all of the holidays and stuff, they will make sure to go out of their way to invite you to something on Christmas or something. You know
or try to come over on Christmas.
If you know that that's a holiday that they're going to celebrate, you're going to be like, hey, come to this part. We're having a party. You know, it's not a Christmas party or anything, but we're having a party that night or a sleepover that night.
Don't let it be a talk this day of Christmas or something like that. Or remember, they would go on service on holidays. You know, friends, today, like boom, boom, boom. There's a pagan holiday today, friends. Let's make sure we get out in the ministry. They come to see their return visits. And I like how you pointed out how these people come off as your friends. And there was a situation with somebody we knew who was studying with an elder for years and years, and they would go over each other's house. And remember, the organization had started hammering down on studies that wasn't moving fast enough.
If they weren't like approaching baptism, and if you knew that they weren't going to get baptized, then they were basically telling them to cut their Bible studies off. Like, if you know that there's not going to be any progress, that's it.
It's done. And that happened to somebody we had known personally, and their feelings were hurt because it's like, I thought we was friends. Like, you coming over my house, I'm going over your house.
We're eating food.
We're eating food
we're
together.
Drinking wine.
We're doing all this together, and I thought you was my friend, and now you telling me you're not coming over to my house and you're not keeping in touch with me no more because
unless I get baptized.
Because I'm not moving fast enough. And this is when you realize, like, dang, maybe this is not a friend, but they are giving you this illusion that we are your new friends and your new family. And like you brought out earlier, what a father can be providing and doing everything you're supposed to do as a parent. Teaching, being there for your kids every day, teaching your kids everything they need to know just for life, and being there emotionally and financially. But if you are not a Jehovah's Witness, the witnesses look at your children as fatherless children.
That always like stuck out to me, because it's like, how can you say that? How can you say that they are fatherless? They have a father at home
doing everything they're supposed to do. But if he's not a witness, that child is fatherless in their eyes. You are an orphan. Your dad doesn't count. You have
a whole bunch of spiritual dads here.
People you don't know that ain't about to come and take care of you like that.
So our next point of a sign of a cult is they have a lack of transparency. So that is very evident with the cult that we came from. Okay, so they try to hide the bad things about their organization and really try to paint it over as good things. Even whenever it comes to the media and things that are we've talked about this multiple times, but things that are happening in the media, they'll take little pieces and they'll be like, oh, look at what God is doing for our people.
Right.
You know, and that, but if anybody's talking about them on the media, you're not going to hear that, like, within the organization.
Yeah, they handpick. Remember, like, during conventions, you know, it could be something positive about the organization, like you said, you know, the people are so friendly and everybody is so smiling. They'll even interview people, you know, that work at this stadium that we rent out every summer. Oh yeah, the witnesses, they're really nice people. And
the hotel managers and
the
stuff.
restaurant people. And then this is quoted in all the publications or even brought up in meetings or in the what was those boring hour-long things we were watching on the website? The broadcast. Yeah. Stuff like that. They quote all of that. But then let it be the dark side. Hey, don't watch that on the news about Jehovah's Witnesses. Right.
Which is so crazy because the thing is, there are a lot of good people in the Jehovah's Witness organization. Like there's a lot of people that have great intentions. You know, they really want to be good people, and they like picture their whole life off of trying to do
good things, what they think is good.
Practicing perfection.
Right.
But they do that, you know? And it's just sad to see that they don't even see the dark side of the organization. Because
it doesn't exist in their mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another sign that you are in the cults, they demand extreme loyalty.
Yes.
And thinking of, for example, the loyalty in this organization, even small things like, you know, standing up for the flag or things like that, you better not do it. Or if it's a child by themselves in school, you know, 10 years old, in a room full of kids, you know how kids are. Kids like to bully and make fun. Yes. That kid, everybody else stand up for the national anthem, that kid better sit down.
Yeah. Not just that, the holidays, like if you're drawing pictures for Halloween or Christmas, like make sure to tell them that you're a Jehovah's Witness, so you don't want the holiday pictures, you know?
Right.
Like, I remember all of that being a thing. Not being able to participate in, like, the Valentine's Day shoebox things.
Right, I remember that.
Yes, and the Halloween, what did they have? Like a Halloween costume day or something?
Or bringing candy in.
Yes, like all those things are things that you're not supposed to participate in.
Yup, I remember being a kid in kindergarten. Man, I wonder what happened to this kid. His name was, like Josh or something. And I remember he would have to step outside. It's like preschool, kindergarten. He would have to go sit in the cult room during this stuff. And I knew a little bit about, you know, religion, but I wasn't about to miss out on no candy. Like, hey, I'm hanging with everybody else. I ain't about to go. That dude tripping, telling him you a witness and all that. I don't even understand this stuff. But that, and then on a bigger scale, you are required to die or go to prison as a Jehovah's Witness if it comes up.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the governing body, they not getting locked up or doing nothing crazy for this organization, but for us, and there was always this illusion, you know, everybody gonna come and attack us like we're the center of attention.
Yeah.
They gonna come try to attack us, and you have to tell them that you one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and if they try to get you to denounce that, you can't, and you got to sit in jail, even if for years. Yep, or die. Or, you know, they bring you out after a couple months, they will show convention parts of that, and they ask you want to renounce now? No, go back in.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense.
And purposely bringing up, like, different disciples and stuff who did the same thing and saying that that's how we have to be.
Right.
You know, and if there's a religion that you legitimately have to die for, everything better be on cue. Like, I better be able to ask any question.
Yep.
It doesn't, and you need to be transparent with me. Okay?
Answer it all the way. I don't want no. Well, you might have to wait. No,
till
paradise.
From school. No, I'm supposed to die for this.
Right,
like,
you ain't even got the answers yet.
You're supposed to. My uncle always says this. He goes, I know how I'm gonna get into the new world. I'm gonna just make sure that I die saving a Jehovah's Witness. I'm not even kidding. He like purely thinks this is how it's
gonna work.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like, I'm just gonna have to die for somebody because
like I ain't about to be shackled and chained up for something that just next week they'd be like, you know what? We changed the rule on that. Y'all ain't have to be in jail.
Yeah.
Like you just never know with this stuff. But the loyalty to this stuff, even over your own family, is more important to be loyal to the people you never even met, to this organization up in the higher ups, over your own mama.
Yeah.
Ain't no way.
That is extreme loyalty. Like you are literally told, if somebody gets disfellowshipped, you have to stop talking to them, including your child, including your mother, including these people that are like literally your support system. That's extreme loyalty.
It is.
Because you're not being loyal to God. You know what I'm saying? You're being loyal to these people who are overseeing this religion.
That you can't pick up the phone when you short on your rent and be like, hey, brother so-and-so up in the governing body, man, I'm messed up right now.
Yeah, come on, brother, let me borrow $1,000.
Yeah, but your mama that you're not allowed to talk to right now because she disfellowship might do it for you.
It's just crazy, like the amount of loyalty that is expected of you as a Jehovah's Witness.
And on another note, I was thinking of, you had mentioned like the examples of ones in the scriptures that we should follow their loyalty. Hear me out. I have never seen, as long as this organization has been around, somebody being locked up in a prison and the angel coming and unlocking the gates and then walking out free. Like the correlations between the Bible stories and what's going on in the organization, like multiple people being shot at a Kingdom Hall versus somebody being thrown in the lion's pit.
Yeah.
Like, where's the correlation? And the answer is always, well, Jehovah used to do that kind of stuff, but he just don't do it right now that y'all here to see for your eyes. But before y'all was around, he was doing this for us. It doesn't make sense.
No. Another sign that you are in a cult is they exploit you. Okay? So I had never seen this while I was in the organization, okay? It really didn't happen until after that I looked back and I was just like, well, god dang.
Like, we done got.
We got, okay?
Yo.
But Christian cult members can exploit you in multiple ways. It does not always have to do with finances. But the organization does collect finances, and we've talked about this before as well, but like setting up all those donation boxes, being able to donate your sky miles, your hotel points. You can even leave your assets to the organization if you have nobody to leave them to. Your assets. You can leave your land, your house.
Yep.
Any property that you have, you can leave it to the organization. That is crazy. Like,
yeah, they don't do it for you.
That is crazy to be able to leave these huge things to them. But that's not the only way that they exploit you. They can also exploit you in time.
And that's worse than money. Because you can get your money back.
You can't get your time back.
You cannot.
And the amount of time that is expected of people to serve in this religion is just, it's a lot, okay? It's literally like having a full-time job.
That is ridiculous.
Because you're studying for your personal studies, then you're studying for the midweek meeting, then you're studying for the Saturday or Sunday meeting, then you have to prepare for field service on the weekend, and that's if you're not a pioneer. Because if you are a pioneer, then you also have to go out and service within the week.
And then it's frowned upon if you only go out on Saturdays, because then it's, hey, me and the brother after the meeting are going, and you kind of are guilt tripped to go more than just Saturday.
It's literally like having like another part-time to full-time job.
It is.
And then also your energy. So if you're out there building kingdom halls for them, they're exploiting you. Like, you are literally free labor.
Exactly.
And they're just taking your time and making you build stuff in the name of God.
And that's it.
And it's really in the name of them, and they'll tell you like, okay, don't go on to schooling and like college after to be like lawyers or doctors, go to our school, or all Bethel. These things. Yes. But at the same time, on the Bethel application, they'll ask you what your skills are. You know what I mean? So, and a couple years ago, they were actually looking for like lawyers and doctors and stuff to come to Bethel. I do remember that. Yeah, me too. Because they need all of that. Like, the organization is basically like its own economy, like they literally have everything there that's necessary. They have basically a nursing home over there, you know what I mean? So they have that for all the Bethelites, and for them, they need people to care for them. So they need like nurses and cooks. Stuff. Yeah, they have everything there.
Yep, the best free labor you can get. Just convince people that if you don't do this, God is going to punish you.
Yes.
So do it for free.
So you're being exploited.
You're being exploited. Even like another thing is building kingdom halls. Say that a hall doesn't have the funds to do something, you gotta borrow. You don't get to have. You gotta borrow money from the organization and then pay it off. You probably have to do it with interest. I'm not sure, but
probably not.
Who knows?
With interest?
I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say you do, but you're already getting ganked in the first place. Why not squeeze some more out?
Well, the thing is, like, you are supposed to take the money to cover whatever funds you have at the hall, and then if there's any overage, you're supposed to send it back to the governing body, right?
Yeah, and then
instead of keeping it.
I remember JT talked about an assembly, how it was so much that they had to pay off, and he asked kind of one of the brothers in charge, like, so once this is paid off, is it gonna be a less of a payment? And JT said the brother kind of looked at him like I dare you even ask me something like that? Excuse me? And you don't even put this stuff in the mind. Like, I remember the assembly hall we were going to had been there forever.
Yeah.
At one point, are you done paying this stuff off? In reality, they just using this to make a flip. We're going to charge you for this, and when we're ready to sell it, we're going to sell it for whatever we profit off of it, and don't ask no questions.
And even our service, like going out in service, you're recruiting more people because to them, it's basically a dollar sign. So the more people you're able to recruit in, the more volunteer money and energy and time and hands that they have. Because how did they get everything that they have? Truly, how did they get it?
By
they got it by all of the members contributing money, contributing their assets, contributing all these things, and now they're able to sit on all this real estate and all these different buildings that they have to their name under the governing body. Once we learned about business, we started really like connecting dots. We were like
this is a business, and they talk so bad about other religions taking money from the members, but this church, this on this corner is just this church. But this Kingdom Hall in this corner is connected to that one and all around the world. And that's where this is worse than what they say about the churches. At least this is just helping out this one building. Yeah. And then if you think about, we're going to lowball this. I even asked a family member this when they were questioning my beliefs. I'm like, this is a money thing. Oh, it's not. Say out of 7 million members, if every member just donated $1 this week, that's a super low ball, because I've seen some of the checks. $1, that's $7 million in 1 week in this organization. Oh
my gosh. Beth Sareem. I wanted to talk about that so bad. But
we'll go on that in our next video.
In our next video, I just have to say a quick shout out to all the people that are in our comments because y'all helped me out so bad. I'm like, what was that mansion called? We could go over it real quick and just tell them about it.
All right.
Okay, so Beth Sareem was basically this mansion out in California that Brother Rutherford had gotten, and it was he had a belief that like all these people were going to be coming back. So like Job and all of them. So this mansion was going to be for them whenever they came back to earth. And he stayed there for years. He basically died in that mansion, and it was huge. Like, it was a big, huge mansion that he got to. So that's what I mean whenever I say exploitation. Like,
you getting got.
Yes, you are giving this money so that these people can have things like that.
Right. And then you don't want to believe it as a witness, but simply critically think, all the money you've given to this organization, just ask for a quarter of that back. Hey, is there any way that I can have? They're going to look at you crazy because you are supposed to give to them. They are not giving to you.
They are, but spiritually.
Yeah, which is nothing. Another sign that you are in the cult, they shun or push away former members or paint them in this ugly picture to where they are not valuable or to be listened to. Yeah. And that's a heavy thing that's being pushed in this organization now, which is apostasy. Now, if you Google the definition to apostate, it literally says a person that leaves a religion or government. Done. It says nothing about turning your back on Jehovah God. That is one of those vocabulary words that are custom made for the organization. Yes. And then most people believe, that's an apostate. Apostate don't want to, come to the Kingdom Hall no more. And that's to protect the current people that are still in the organization.
It's another form of mind control.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that, this person, no matter how high up they were, you could have just been in the organization for 10, 15 years as, a pioneer, somebody giving talks. But somebody could have been an elder for 40 years, a circuit overseer, a district overseer. They could have been, going to the school of evangelizers and all of that stuff. They could have had this level of, knowledge as a Jehovah's Witness and be like, you know what, I'm out. And since they decide to leave, nothing they can say is valuable no more. Don't listen to them.
Yeah.
And that's a sign of being in the cult. And that's to keep you inside. Because if you put two and two together and go, man, this person know way more about this stuff than I ever knew, and they don't even want to come back no more.
Yes.
But you are brainwashed to believe, don't even entertain nothing that person has to say.
They have to like delegitimize everybody who leaves.
Right.
And the reason why is because if they're able to plant the seed early on to its members and say, hey, like people that leave and start to speak out are crazy and they are controlled by the devil and like Satan has them and the demons have them, then that is going to naturally scare its inside members from listening.
You would
know
never
what I mean?
listen.
You're not going to listen.
Yep.
So they make sure to do that early on so that they can retain as many members as possible.
Right.
And make it seem like anybody who leaves out, anything that they say is not the truth.
Only we have the truth. And you believe it from... And the thing is, everybody is not going to listen to that, but the majority you can keep inside.
Absolutely.
But a few may slip through the cracks and be like, no, such and such was right.
Yeah.
But you only going to lose so many members. But what's happening now, the organization is hitting a point where they can't control the information no more. It used to be just a book you can get your hand on, or maybe a website, but now you got everything inside your phone that can reveal it. TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah.
So people that you run into out and about also have this information now. So your chances of running into somebody that knows these things, even going in the door-to-door ministry now, your chances of running into somebody at the door that knows the dirt on this organization is much more higher than it was before.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Our very last sign is they make it hard to leave.
It is almost impossible.
Yes, or you just have a strong fear of leaving.
Yep. It's like a domestic relationship, like we said.
Yes.
Domestic violence is to where you are in such a stressful situation, but you believe there's nothing better.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's literally what abusive relationships do. Like the person will tell you cannot do any better than them, and everything that you have good is because you are with this person. Yeah. And if you try to leave them, like everything bad will happen, and they'll start putting out all of your like negative traits and everything. And it's the same thing with this religion. They do the same thing. So they tell you that you can't do much without them, but they will paint it in a way where it's like, you can't do anything without Jehovah, but really they are Jehovah.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
The governing body is Jehovah. How would that make Jehovah look? How would it make Jehovah feel?
How would it make the governing body look? How would it make the governing body feel? Because there are plenty of apostates who leave the Jehovah's Witness organization and they still believe in Jehovah. You know what I mean? There's plenty of people who don't go to the Kingdom Hall, but they still believe in the doctrines.
Right.
They just don't believe in that organization specifically.
They believe they can find this stuff on their own without being told something that may or may not even be, correct.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that's another sign is that you just have a strong fear of leaving, and a lot of your life can change if you do leave. Yeah. So that's how much control this religious group can have on your current life. That you have that much fear to
leave. And even in the organization, what people don't realize, your baptism is a contract that you get locked into. Yeah. That's like, from that point forward, for one, you have to stand up. That's another thing about, these cults. You have to renounce your old life or something like that. When you get baptized, they ask you those two questions. You say
in front of everybody.
In front of everybody. You say yes, and now you are locked into this contract. So now we get to discipline you if you do something wrong. Yeah. Versus if you weren't baptized, we can't really do much with you. But now we control everything. We get to come to your house and scold you. If you do something wrong, we take you in this back room and scold you. Now we control, say if your family is witnesses, we control your relationship with your family now, with your loved ones. Yes. We control your image now. We get to give you these titles and then strip them away because now we own you, now that you are baptized.
And that can literally go back to the love bombing, like how we were talking about how they show so much love at the beginning until you begin to go against their doctrines. Now it's, let me start chipping all of that away from you.
Right. Let me take everything that gives you this so-called happiness away.
Yes.
Because we own you, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 10 signs of being in a cult. And there's many more. These are just some of the highlighted ones. And what's so crazy, these aren't signs that Jehovah's Witnesses are cults. These are just
signs of a cult.
Signs of a cult. And this is one of the things when I first woke up and I looked up, like, what are the signs of being in a cult? And I'm connecting the dots, like, man, this is, and then people in the comments on like videos I'm watching, these people weren't even witnesses. These are people that were in other cults.
Yeah.
But it's all the same thing. It's all mind control.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but thank y'all again for watching.
Yes.
Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and we got more on the way.
We will see you in the next one.
Catch y'all on the next one.